What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Juice is Loose podcast. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. And yeah, I didn't want to, I mean, I could have made it yesterday, Christmas evening, nothing ever, my whole life we've never done anything. It's always been before Christmas and Christmas mornings. But I figured, give you guys a chance to be with your families. And, I didn't know what everyone was going to do, but I just figured we'll do it on Tuesday. So we're here, and yeah, we're going to talk. Basically, going to be kind of a year in review. Not really review, just kind of reminiscing, because we don't really want to get into like game of the year type talk or anything like that. But I thought we could just kind of reminisce and go, from the beginning of the year to now, what's happened. But I thought before we get into that, we'll tackle a few little topics. Or the first one I want to.
Well, hold on. Before we get started, I just want to thank you for giving us the chance on Christmas to be with our families instead of doing a podcast. It was totally all up to you.
Thanks, boss. Yeah. I appreciate
it. So did your kid like his Switch?
He did. He wasn't as excited as I was hoping for. I was videotaping.
He probably knew it.
He probably felt it.
Or his mom caved and told him or something.
And also, hasn't he been playing the Switch
he's all year right now? He's been playing it.
I was say he's not like you, Robert. Don't throw that.
I was just about to say he's been playing it the last couple of days more than you have all year.
All year. Hold on a second.
Did he get his own games, or is he playing yours?
He's got a couple of his own games. He's been playing mine, which is fine by me. Like
you said, he wasn't excited for Mario, which was odd. Or yeah,
totally surprised me. He's not a Mario. Well, he's not a Mario Odyssey kid. He likes the 2D ones, but for some reason he hasn't really gotten into the 3D ones as much.
And Odyssey's definitely, to me, it's a way different than the last couple as far as its structures. I don't know, he might, just running around. I'm not a casual, so I figured that would be more casual friendly than to some people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say that. Maybe because it's intricate platforming. Maybe that has to do with it. Like you have.
And there's not like a structure.
Yeah, but I'm like, and then I thought maybe puzzles, but I'm like, wait a minute, he cleared what, like 60-something shrines in Breath of the Wild, so he understands puzzling, and there's platforming in that too. So I don't know what it is.
Assist mode. Try assist mode.
I just think he's just not into it. I don't think it's
maybe.
I mean, there is a little in the beginning. It does nudge you with what you have to do, but there's a point where it's just like, you just do what you want. Yeah. Anybody get anything worth, or they want to disclose Christmas-wise presents? Anything? It doesn't have to be exactly gaming related. If something really cool you got from somebody, anybody wants to, feel free.
I put my presents on Twitter. I put the two presents I got from my kids.
It was the proud father presents. That's what I like to call them.
my son, my daughter drew a picture of me and her, and she had a shirt with the sun on it, and I had one with what I thought was Pac-Man, but she said no, that's a moon because you like Pokemon Moon and I like Pokemon Sun. And so
nice.
I was like, oh, that is awesome. I would have never thought that. She blew my mind with that. And then my son, he used like his, I think they call them Wildcat dollars or something, school bucks, to I guess you get them for good behavior or whatever. So he took his school money, his Monopoly money basically, and went to the school store and bought me a used DS game, which I thought, I started crying. I'm not even like, he thought that into it to go out and buy me a video game and at his school store for my Christmas present. So
that's awesome.
Very cool.
I love Retro's comment on that Twitter. Where he's like,
I didn't see his comment.
Oh, the face reveal. That's what he said. He was like, "Oh, look, we finally got that face reveal early." I was like, "Oh."
I looked like a semi-deformed clown, Joker clown. That's it.
Oh God,
that's me. Yeah,
guys. My sister and my mom they love to shop. So, like the last, was it 2 years? Yeah, 2 years ago, I got a classically trained with an NES controller shirt. And I just it was one of my favorite presents. So my sister, you know, she don't know that much about gaming, so she just every year now she just gets me an NES or really old like a original Super Mario Brothers shirt and an NES. And I'm finally gonna have to say, those are cool, but I do like some modern stuff. I'm not that big into the NES actually.
That's still the shirt that frauds wear. I'm such a gamer. Look at my Pac-Man shirt.
Oh, chill out.
Yeah, it's like yeah, this NES shirt's cool, but it's like my 5th favorite Nintendo system at this point. I'm gonna drop some hints for next year, but it's still cool. At least they finally figured out. It took them till I was 37 years old to realize, hey, this he likes gaming, and we should get him gaming related stuff instead of like dress shirts and stuff that he never wears. So I mean, they figured me out, and it's good to get cool stuff like that finally. But what about anybody else?
I got some GameStop gift cards, which I mean, I wish I could trade that for Best Buy nowadays. But and then I also did get these. I've been waiting. I wanted to get these. Are the original like Nintendo vans. So like there's these Nintendo vans with the NES controllers on the side, and it looks nice.
That's cool.
And so now I could actually have like a whole outfit with not my sneakers, now with some actual Vans. And so it's gonna look good.
You'll be back at it again with the white Vans. I see.
It's actually black Vans.
Hey man, hey look, representing. That's my boy. Hey.
Wow.
Good work. Good work.
So there's something I'd love to buy myself for a late Christmas gift. Pre-order.
God.
I was looking into that Pyra.
It doesn't come out the next year though.
Good Smile, and it's $162 converted from yen, and then who knows what shipping and all that'll be. And I'm just like, it looks really cool, but that's too much.
Well, you also got another year before it comes out.
Well, next year. That's not that. I mean, 2018 is not that far away.
Yeah, but it's like next December is what I'm saying.
Oh,
That price is pretty average for Good Smile. They do really good shit.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't mind waiting. It's just
It's
like,
just spending the money.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a really good figure. Like, I mean, that's just a prototype. You don't know what the final to the customer.
I'm surprised how far it is already. Usually they're not even in color at that point.
Trust me, it's gonna look exactly the same knowing Good Smile.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm tempted still.
There might be some minor differences. It depends on how he feels in a year.
I'd have to probably pre-order it now to be guaranteed to get it, because once it gets sold out, then it's gonna be resold for probably $300.
Maybe figures don't really. Well,
With Good
They do once they're gone.
Maybe because it's Xenoblade. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one might be.
There's like certain franchises is not as big of a deal, but Xenoblade being, especially considering that character's only like a year old, will be a year old. I guess that would make more sense. So that might be a limited time figure. Really? Really? Really?
So I want to talk a little something about Xenoblade, because I was had kind of an epiphany earlier today. I had 99 core crystals built up I haven't been really using, and I was like, I'm gonna spend like the next however many standard core crystals it takes to get a rare blade. It took me 15, and I'm like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you bond with it, it flashes 3 times. The first 2 are potential blades, and the third one is the outline silhouette of the blade you're getting.
Yeah.
And they always, like, every time the first or second one is this like epic looking,
I'm so mad at that shit too.
posing looking silhouette of an awesome looking rare blade, and then the third one's just that generic shit.
Yeah, that shit's the worst, dude.
But here's the question. If EA or Activision made this game,
Yeah, it was coming. I knew it was coming.
How different would that core crystal mechanic work? I mean, what
man.
would they have done to it?
You probably have to pay for it.
That'd
Well,
be
you wouldn't
loot
have to, but you have the option to pay for it.
No, I'd think that would be loot box all the way.
That'd be loot box all the way.
On the other side, imagine if Nintendo updated the game and added a money system, how much more money they'll be making.
I bet a lot of people
None
would.
from me.
I wouldn't do it, but
Some people probably would do it, especially for some of those designs. Shit.
But I'm just saying, like, that's how it should work. You play the game, you battle, you grind, you get a core crystal here or there in battles, and then next thing you know, 80 hours into the game, you got 99 out of 99, and you just, you can use them.
well, that's
but-
how it did work until
I know but when I was doing it today, I was like, this is so loot box feeling, like, in just the way they tease you with those silhouettes, making you keep wanting to do it. And I was like, man, I'm not stopping. I kept seeing the same silhouette over and over, and I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And then I get the stupid blob circle kid that's so annoying.
The what?
He's like just a round, literally a perfect circle of inflated ball.
Oh, is that the one that looks like what's that thing's name?
No, he
That's
doesn't
Big
look
Hero
like-
6.
No, that's not him.
Oh.
And he's just literally a perfect circle. He's just a ball, and he's huge. And
Oh,
he's
I
hungry.
think I've seen the silhouette. I haven't actually seen the character.
Yeah, he's hungry all the time. And he's just really annoying. And I'm like, I did all that for this, but anyway.
Yo, that's funny as hell.
But like, I didn't even know that Destiny 2 had like loot box type mechanics, and I found that out recently watching this EPN network channel I'm subscribed to. They did like biggest fails of the year, and they're basically all were talking about loot boxes and EA. And then someone pointed out Destiny 2. I'm like, I did not even know that they did that. And then surprised that I wouldn't be shocked if Call of Duty has it. I'm not sure if it does or doesn't, but like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The whole loot box thing we've discussed, but the fact that this game basically has the same kind of system, but they do it the old way, I don't know.
All
Anybody
difference
else?
in those design philosophies, and not everything that people put in games is made to make money. Although, if you're EA, then there's nothing you can put in a game that doesn't need to make money. I mean,
man, that's just damage control. Nintendo behind the times again. They need to get with the current situations in gaming and stop doing that 20, 30-year-old, mentality.
I know. Why don't you charge me for some extra DLC, Nintendo?
You tell me I got to put 60 hours in the game to get enough core crystals. I can't just buy them. Like, what? I bet you there is somebody that's like, man, can I just buy these? Like, I'm sure there's.
Well, some people would do it. I mean, that's not even an argument. That will happen.
Loot boxes exist for a reason. Somebody was, oh man, I wish I could just.
I mean, think about it. Rocket League and Overwatch have loot boxes.
Yeah.
Mhm. But you still get tons of unlocks without loot boxes. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the. But the point is that you have the option to pay for it, and because you have the option to pay for it, it's
Someone
like
is.
you might like. It's like some people would just be like, "Well, fuck it, I'll just pay for it."
Yeah,
Just
took it to the next
tell you
level.
what, I have a confession to make.
No,
But
you
this
don't
is
be a piece of shit.
No, but this is a while ago. This is like when I was 12.
That's not going to help your case, right?
So last I had to do it. Sorry.
For NBA Jam on Fire Edition on the 360, right? They had this thing where just
Oh, no.
I wanted to play right away as like all these teams and stuff, and they had a thing. I think this is EA, right? NBA Jam. I'm pretty sure this is EA.
I don't think
That might be
they have-
2K, wouldn't it?
NBA Jam was
I
no.
I don't know who has it now.
It might have been EA. Yeah, he might.
I'm pretty sure because I feel like this would only be them because they had a time is money pack. That's what it was called, time is money pack. And what it was just unlock everything, and like you pay money to unlock everything.
Man, that was the beginning. Nobody noticed.
Yeah,
I have the
I
the
bought
Wii
that.
U. I have the Wii one here. It's EA.
Yeah,
it
the
was,
Wii one.
yeah. It was midway
Yeah.
before.
And they had that, and I bought it. I'm not gonna lie. I bought that because I wanted to play as all these unlockable teams that
How did
I
it
knew
work
I
on-
would never play.
How did it work on the Wii? Did they? Because the Wii didn't have as.
No,
easy-
I had the 360.
Well,
version,
it's
so-
retro.
I don't know because I didn't play the Wii version enough to do that shit. And back then, I would never have, especially for NBA, because I'm not that big in basketball, so I don't give a fuck who I'm playing with in the game.
It's
No,
just-
that's what I wanted. I wanted the weird teams. They had like like just a bunch of random like non-basketball player stuff, and that was so cool. I think they had like turkeys and stuff. It was awesome. And so I wanted to play as a turkey.
So how'd you get the money on Xbox to pay for that?
I had it on the account, and so
Like someone posited some Microsoft points for you.
I'm sure I'm sure I'm sure it was from something, and I bought it.
Jesus. That shit was
he
under
didn't
the
pay for it
radar.
himself.
That was
Yeah,
2010 that came.
And he was 12 years old, and I bet a lot of young kids do that stuff.
If it was 2010, that means I was 11.
Well, you might not have
That's
got it till
impressive.
later, but
Yeah, maybe.
God.
and you know what? The reason that probably went under the radar, because I mean, 7 years ago, I wasn't on YouTube talking about video games. I mean, I don't think there was that much. There wasn't the news YouTube reporters, video games reporters. It was just you relied on IGN and GameStop and shit back then a lot more. So I wonder if that's why I got unnoticed back in those days.
Yeah.
I'm
Then we
sure,
realized,
and by then, obviously those definitely were the stepping stones to this. Definitely.
and we realized what corporate shills those websites were.
I sadly,
Or
I
are, I should say.
started
I
this.
don't think they ever stopped being shills. It just became more apparent.
Yeah, Robert was on the forefront.
So yeah, about to say he's the generation that was conditioned to say that this is fine.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Because of the cell phone games and stuff. That's where it basically started, and that's predatory practices because you had these kids who were like hundreds of dollars on their parents' cell phones playing these games and stuff and using their accounts. They have laws and stuff now in place and rules where basically you have to give these people their money back when they say my kid did that,
Mm-hmm.
but that was the beginning of it, and like that's happening on consoles now. They figure they can get away with it on consoles, and they kind of are, and they were, but people are paying more attention. And like I saw something about the congressman from Hawaii, Chris Lee. Like he's going hard on like fighting back against that stuff on mostly consoles now. So we need to support that because
I think with a lot of that kind of stuff, it's also like a lot of kids these days, they're just super fucking impatient. So when you have something like a cell phone game where it's just like let's say, for example, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, the only thing you can pay for is to game a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. That's what you pay for. If you just don't use your phone for a day, you basically have your shit unlocked, but you can actually pay. And I think the game already made millions. And I'm like, jongen, put your fucking phone down for an hour and it's done,
Right. Yeah, they conditioned. They're impatient. They grew up in the push button, instant gratification society. Like so.
Yeah, it's the internet age.
Yeah, the internet age. It's just totally screwed these kids, and I bet like in the past 10 years, even like ADD has skyrocketed. Like the amount of kids who have it. Like
yeah,
I would not be surprised if the stats just like
Shit.
blow up in the last. What's up?
Christmas morning, my nephew and my brother's girlfriend's daughter, they're both 14. And we're sitting there opening presents, and they're like playing on their phones like until like the presents started getting open, and then even then she was like looking for a phone. And like,
oh my gosh,
that shit would have never happened.
It's like Christmas morning, like can we focus on Christmas morning?
I know you're 14, you still should be pretty excited about getting gifts, you'd think. I was, but
yeah, to a degree. That was kind of my falling out years.
Mine wasn't until I had a job, and
that's what I said. 14.
I was like,
I get my first job. I was 16. It was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, when I was like
exactly, that's 2 years later. You know what I mean?
I was like 17 when I stopped getting like crazy excited, but it's Christmas morning. Like I would have never like been distracted from Christmas. It's like,
well, then again, phones weren't shit back then either. Well, not back then. I guess it's still a few years ago. They weren't as addictive as they become now.
We still had to use the house phone in them days.
Some people are like, "What the fuck is a landline?"
Oh, a landline, a beeper. What the hell is that? Is that the thing that goes off when your popcorn is done?
Ooh.
So, with Xenoblade, we were talking about the core crystal started this conversation, and it's like, yep, they did that right. This game's just got so many things to do, and I don't know if I want to get into talking about the game some more, or actually, there's one thing that's kind of been not really bugging me, but it's like I sent you guys a link last night of Game of the Year from that EPN network, and it was interesting hearing all these people. A lot of people were voted for Super Mario Odyssey. Like they kind of had a panel, different people, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised. Not one person, and even one guy admitted he hadn't even played Xenoblade Chronicles when they recorded that. Hadn't even played it. Mario Odyssey was the last Switch game when that he played when they were recording that. And I'm like, why the hell do they gotta get their game of the year out before, like in freaking middle of December? Like, you're not playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and you're ranking game of the year. Best RPG was one of their categories. Persona 5 wins, and like no one played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah. It's like the game came out December 1st. Like I don't know. I don't get that. I don't know why
a lot of these guys, they get the game early, so by the time December 1st happened, the game is playing. Those guys were done playing it.
Mm-hmm.
He put 90 hours in it. Derek did, and that was his game of the year. So what is the excuse?
Well, I mean, I can give you some of the reasons. The first thing is that just for YouTube ad revenue, that shit is usually the highest during the holidays, and more than likely because of how Xenoblade works, a lot of people wouldn't actually most people wouldn't make their list until like January or something. Like, nah, fuck that. We ain't gonna miss out on the views for that. That's the first problem.
Yeah, they want to get.
But then it's gonna be
the second problem is that it's too fucking anime for a lot of people. But which is really fucking weird to say considering it's a year in which Persona 5 is winning best RPG.
Yeah, I really don't think that's a factor.
You don't get more anime than that.
Say what?
Yeah, I don't think that's a factor.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say you basically don't get more anime than Persona.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a factor with Xenoblade. I just think.
I think it's part of the factor because Persona had a whole year of hype behind it.
If Persona came out December, I think it would have been pretty much the same situation.
Yeah, I think it's literally just it comes out so late in the year, and well, granted, there weren't that much RPGs this year, were there? I don't even remember.
Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia and.
That's a 3DS game. We don't count that.
There's a bunch of smaller ones that nobody cares about. Or nobody counted anyway.
I didn't actually watch that to see what most people were saying. It's one of those channels where they put the thumbnail, they put the freaking the winning game in the freaking thumbnail of the YouTube.
Well, I don't need to watch that.
It's so stupid. Persona was the thumbnail, so. But I just think it's crazy that they're just. I mean, I'm not saying for a ton of people it would be, but at least you should at least play a major game like this, because you're not going to remember it next year during the game of the year. It shouldn't even count, really. It does on the Game Awards. They actually nominated X the year after. They thought they didn't forget about it completely. It didn't win, but
they didn't forget about it. But you knew the game was already going to get fucked over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then even like in IGN, like the one guy, I don't know, the third guy, I never remember his name.
You talking about Zach?
Is it Zach?
Do you wear glasses?
I just remember the voice. I don't really.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Well, he put Persona 5 above like Mario, and he didn't even finish Persona. I was like, what the? How you gonna? You didn't even finish the game. How you gonna rank it higher? But he also had like Sonic Mania above Mario Odyssey. And it's just like, all right, we're done.
Well, there was one guy.
We're done here. Thanks.
That in that game of the year, which I'll actually link that so people know what we're talking about. He did put Sonic Mania as his game of the year, and then best audio. That one was funny because I don't think people got the guy that runs the channel. He meant like audio design, and everyone picked their best soundtrack, the one that had the best soundtrack. So
they need to just get rid of that audio design shit. It doesn't fucking matter now. Just
to me, like
nobody even pays
audio design is like I clicked that one first because that's my bread and butter. I love that, and I'm like. Oh, Zelda, Horizon, great audio design, Mario Odyssey, and they're all like picking the ones with the best music. And I'm like, okay, you might as well just put
best music, best soundtrack.
Yeah, just skip the bullshit. It's trying to separate it for no reason.
Yeah, so thought that was.
You don't get a best Oscar for a best picture, or you don't get an Oscar for best sound design and soundtrack. They're separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I don't. Yeah, they got to fix that because it is very different. You could have a game with terrible like sound design, but great music.
Yeah.
So
like a Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great music, but unless you really love the old school sound effects, I mean, to me,
well,
that's
I wouldn't say they're just nothing special.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 nothing
yeah. I
special.
think it's more middle of the road than anything.
Yeah.
Like listen to like the Divine Beast cinematic as it's climbing to its perch, you know, on Zelda and a good surround sound system with a subwoofer, and it's just like Nintendo's never had a game with that level, like movie level sound quality and design. Like I've always like feel like they sacrifice the sound to like make their game small, you know. But with Zelda and Mario, I think Mario and Zelda are like two of the top, by far, best sound designed games Nintendo's ever made. Like just they sound incredible.
Yeah.
And I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and I did post that video like a week ago where it's like they get the design's pretty good, but the mix is terrible. Like I was like 50 yards away from the vendors, and it's just like sound like they're right next to me. And then Aloy talks to herself a lot, and a lot of it's like story related stuff. You're on your way to you just finish a quest, and she's talking to herself, but the music is loud. You can't even hear what she's saying, and it's like that has a terrible mix, but the sound design of like the action scenes are amazing.
That happens in Xenoblade Chronicles too. Actually, too.
A little bit.
The audio.
Not as bad as X though. That was terrible shit.
Oh yeah, X was worse because you couldn't do anything to change.
Right. At least in 2 you can adjust it.
Yeah, I hate how they just let me turn off the enemy noises, and I still want to hear like the calls from my party. Like I want to know when someone says break in case I miss up and top. You know, it's nice to hear someone say break, and then I know I can topple. But I don't want to hear the stupid animal sounds and the think you can take me.
Think you can take me.
Don't forget me.
Don't forget me.
I never want to hear that again.
I will say, as far as the whole like them calling out when they do breaks and topples and shit, the one thing I hate is when I have Tora in my party and all I hear is tumbly tumbly, and I'm like, oh, I see what's happening.
That's funny. I like most of the like Poppy's expressions and pirate
like has me fucking dying like 90% of the time because she is so mean to Tora.
What's Poppy's like rejection protocol or something when your hit misses or gets the enemy has a shield up and it bounces? It's like it's not rejection, but something like that.
It's like reflective disengaged or something. Like
she literally says it's not reflect or not denied or something. I think it's denied protocol when your hit doesn't land, and it's just I think that's a cool little touch.
Well, that even because I noticed this recently because I got a few new rare blades. The rare blades actually have like custom dialogue depending on who your driver is.
Yeah.
So like, I got I think actually Juice. I think you had the same character Nim, the one I think the one that has the 2 dragon things on her arms and shit. I got it from Morag, and she has this weird custom dialogue where Morag talking about how cool she looks and like her outfit and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I was like, cool. That's interesting. I didn't know there was custom dialogue for the rare blades.
Maybe I'll switch her over because I think she's tied to
Rex.
Nia, maybe.
Oh,
maybe Rex. I don't know. I don't use a ton of the rare blades. I'm starting to now, but one of the cool things about that game, and I posted the affinity chart for Poppy I finished, and it like if you go into it and it tells you what you need to do to unlock that buff or that ability, and it said get 3 driver combo finishers, and I'm like, what the fuck is a driver combo? And I imagine the finisher is the final one. So I'm looking, and the only videos are in Japanese. Well, I find out that you have to have someone instigate break, topple, launch, and then smash. So you have to do the smash basically with Tora.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get that to happen? That's 4 steps. I got 3 people in my party, so I had to play around and look at all the blades and all their special. You go into the weapon upgrading
For your
segment.
weapon points and everything.
Yeah, and it tells you the special thing. So I was like, all right, well, this person has break. Rex has topple. Oh, here's a launch, and then Tora had one of Poppy's moves as a smash. I'm like, all right, this will be easy. And I go into just like 10, 15 battles, like it's not happening. So I was like, I'm gonna take over Tora. And then I'm like, why isn't no one ever launching? So then I had to look. Well, the person that had the break and topple was on the same driver. So I had to like change the blades around so that one person had, I think I started the break, and then topple was on Rex, and then launch was on Nia, and then I would finish with smash. And I didn't have to look that. I just figured it out, and I just trial and error. And it's like one of those like hidden metagame type things. And it was just like, what a revelation. And as soon as I figured that out, and I did it in one fight. I did all 3 that I needed and completed that. And I was just like, man, that's rewarding. Like I had to dive in a little deeper than most games you'd have to, and I figured it out, and it was just like, man, it was so rewarding. So
you want to know what the scariest thing about that shit is, though? There are certain enemies in the game that can do that same setup to you.
Yeah.
It's happened to me a few times where you'll be in mid-fight. All of a sudden, I just see Rex spinning in the air like the damn game glitched out. And then I'm taking like half my health damage. And I'm like, oh, that's right. They can do the same techniques. I wonder why I'm dying so much. Oh, that's why. Okay. Which
there's so much.
Oh yeah, I'm going to give you a quick pro tip, and anyone who's listening, because I can't tell you the context of why this is, but I'm going to tell you as a quick hint of advice: don't get blades for Rex. Rex doesn't need them. Give them to any other character you get. Rex doesn't need blades. It'll make sense once you get to a certain part in the game. Don't give Rex any blades. Like all the core crystals, use it on Nia and other characters you get. But and if anyone wants to know, I might tell later. But anyone who's beaten the game already, you already know why. But I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Is there a point where you're gonna? I only have about 8 blades associated with Rex.
Yeah,
but so you're saying don't do any other than the?
I'm saying if you have at least like 2 or 3 more extra blades, that's fine. Like he doesn't need. I'm talking about because the main thing I'm telling you is I don't want any rare blades going to Rex. That's the main point I'm trying to make.
Well, can't you switch with the overdrive?
You can, but that's not the point. The problem is you can't do that if
he's trying to tell us without telling us.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't.
You're making it difficult, Juice.
Yeah, I'm just saying is that later on in the game, Rex gets something that makes it irrelevant if you have blades tied to him or not. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't waste any of your rare core crystals on him because the rare blades should go to other characters.
Now he tells me.
Well, I didn't realize it because I just recently got it trips me out that I'm like 70 hours in the game and they're still unlocking shit for me. Like I would think, oh, I got all the main stuff. No. Actually, Juice has like 3 or 4 abilities he hasn't gained yet, which he's gonna get within the next like chapter or 2. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm only 20 hours in. I had that whole week of issues with my freaking memory card. So
did you get that resolved?
I did. And I actually wanted to talk about that when we finish this. Because I think some people don't know, because I didn't know.
But how could you know?
But yeah, we'll talk about that next.
All right. The other thing I want to talk about is Arm's not getting any love, man. They get a new character.
Yeah.
Me and Terrell played a little bit, and it's just like I see no one tweeting about it, and it's just like gone to the wayside already.
I hate that. It has nothing to do with the game. It's the timing of the game. Like I think, like I always want to play it, but I never end up playing because there's so much other stuff I'm playing. You know, it's just like sucks. It sucks because I want to play it, but it's just like, oh, I need to spend time with this. Oh, it's like a Zelda DLC, great. Oh, there's oh yeah, I want to get a little further in this game. I'm not nearly where I want to be in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet. So let me get so it's just like bad timing. There's just so much good stuff that came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like hard to like spend time with Arms and
yeah.
it just sucks.
And because it's a new IP, like your attachment to that over Zelda,
that's exactly it.
It's gonna lose because it's new. It's like,
do
I want to go play Zelda DLC or do I want to go play ARMS? And you're like, man, fuck that. I want to go play fucking Zelda.
I always have fun when I play it, but it's just like getting me to play it is the thing.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I hit 60 hours in ARMS last time I looked. That last time I played it put me up past the 55 or more or whatever it said. So I'm in the 60-hour round with ARMS, which I didn't think I was that high. So I mean, I love the game. It's just it's no fun for me playing with randoms and all that. Like it's just how I am with online gaming. It's just, other than Rocket League, I can play like 4 matches and just get out in and out. You know, it's like it's on my system. I don't have to switch the cart. I played last night and it's like I had fun, played 4 matches, and I'm out. With ARMS, that's really not, even though the matches aren't long, it's not that kind of game for me.
It doesn't feel long. I mean, it doesn't feel short. I think that's the problem.
No, but I mean, I do like when you're with it. Like me and Terrell, we played, and he was a little rusty. And at one point,
I was handicapped. Don't give me that shit.
It was like 44 to 20 points wise, and then next thing I know, it was like 50-50. Like we were almost identical in points before I backed out to get some more ARMS and check my badges. You know, so it was. We probably won and lost the same amount. I bet we split basically, and it's that to me. I love that. Like I wasn't having as much fun just beating you in the beginning, but then I started losing. I was like, all right, I got to focus now. I got to switch things up and try. You know, that's what gets me excited, or not excited, but more energetic. And you know, I'm not going to sit there and get whooped. Like you beat me like 4 in a row at one point. I'm like, all right. Now it's that motivates me to want to
all
play.
I have because I switched fucking characters because my God, Cole has a fucking learning curve.
At least it's one of those things where I don't get that with just playing with randoms on a game like ARMS. You know, maybe you get matched up with somebody in the ranked, but then they might not play again, or you know. So it's just I think that's the downfall maybe of that game versus some of the other online games, and maybe that's why it's getting a little more overlooked. But it was a great game. It just sucks. You know, Nintendo's plan was a good plan, except for I always thought that ARMS and Splatoon 2 came out too quick, you know, too soon, or not enough time in between. And I don't know why.
Especially for a new IP, it didn't really get the breathing room it deserved.
They should have probably waited.
I think there's no reason ARMS couldn't have come out in May.
Or I was going to say,
so that probably would have helped
earlier. Yeah,
but if anybody has the game, the new character is pretty cool. The stage is really cool.
Yeah,
I'm not absolutely in love with the character's overall design and stuff, but cool, different moveset. It feels like it does feel like you know, you have to relearn how to play the game with her. So
yeah,
maybe we can get together and play some ARMS. I know the other night it was just ended up Rocket League the whole time with
that game is addicting as hell.
Yeah, I feel like that's become like your like sleeper hit for this year because I don't think I don't know if you expected to like it as much as you do.
I mean, I thought it'd be okay, but it's just shit. It's good.
It's fun as hell.
Last night there was, you know, Christmas noobs on, and the first 3 matches I played, I was MVP on a winning team. Well, the 4th match, all the rookies must have just got their Switch, but they are all fucking Rocket League experts, dude. This dude had the basic cart, might have even been his first match. Rookie rank, the very first cart, and he's doing aerials like I have never seen. Like he's half court or half the field, flying up, spinning at just the right angle and hitting the ball in. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? He had like 7 goals. And I was like, oh, well, he's not a rookie, so you can't tell how good somebody is because they probably just got their Switch and opened it yesterday, and first thing they did was buy Rocket League.
Or how about like
they tried when the eShop came back up.
Well, there was one part where when we were versing these guys that were just fucking flying everywhere.
Oh god, the ball
it was ridiculous.
It didn't matter if it was near the ceiling, halfway, bouncing. They hit it. It never bounced twice. They hit it every time in the air, like consistently. I'm just like, how the fuck can you? How can you hit the ball when it's moving that quickly? Like that's just. I don't know that I'll ever be to that point. I can hit it when it's kind of straight in front of me. I can lift up and get an aerial, but the things those guys were doing, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
How the hell? Oh, totally different subject. How the hell is Spider-Man and Kingdom Hearts for PS4 on bestseller lists for Amazon? Neither of these games have
because fuck you. That's why. That's
Because they don't know what else to do with these gift cards, man. They got to
man.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know who the hell is pre-ordering those games that far in advance.
people.
That's like pre-ordering Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS3 and being
I didn't
like,
even
fuck,
pre-order.
man.
I didn't pre-order Zelda until they announced on January the fucking release date.
Well, to be fair, that was shocking even to me. I thought you would have.
Bayonetta 3's up for pre-order.
I don't pre-order games until they're.
Well, fucking,
Yeah.
I think the Rocket
they
League
gotta
physical
pre-order
edition
it.
just went up for pre-order.
Well,
They have to be.
We know when that's coming out.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I have to know when the date, and I'll like see official box art before I even consider pre-ordering a game.
Yeah, some people don't give a fuck about those things. That's the problem.
So I wonder what does Amazon still have like their top selling games of 2017? Like I can't remember where that was found.
Oh, it's like bestsellers. You mean bestsellers?
But yeah, but you can look on the whole year. There was a spot you could look.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You give me a second while you guys are talking. I'll look for it.
That
All right.
PUBG on Xbox One sold 4 million copies.
4 million?
What?
I don't know if I believe that.
Which one?
PUBG
It was
on
only
Xbox
$30,
One.
but it's just
I don't know if I believe that either.
I could believe that.
That's real fuck. That's a lot.
You
Considering
know how
that
much
game.
it's sold on PC, right? It's still like 20 mil.
Yeah, I could have sworn somebody tweeted that.
I mean, maybe it did because it's $30.
I know it was at well, it was over 1 million within a day.
It's generally the only game the Xbox has that people can say they might
And
want to play.
It's just the early.
That's such a
access.
sad thing.
It's not even the full
And
game.
it runs horrible on the original Xbox. Like
Yeah, I know, I've
absolute
heard.
garbage.
Well, it runs
Like-
horrible either way. It doesn't run great on.
No, but in the original, literally, you'll be walking around with no
It's a
textures.
slideshow.
No textures.
No textures.
and
it's a
it's
terrible
literally-
slideshow.
Yeah.
Listen.
They
Listen,
patched
those
it,
guys are gamers. Chill out.
It's ridiculous.
but $30 for basically a beta, and then when the game's final, I'm assuming you don't have to pay anymore, but I don't
Nah,
know for sure.
hey.
It's just I don't know. Whatever. I mean, my friend plays on PC, and as much as it's hacked and there's all this bullshit happening, he still is addicted to it and has fun
it's
playing
fun.
it.
So I found the best sellers for
Nothing.
2017 so far.
What's that?
The first two were PlayStation gift cards.
Yeah, no, that's always.
They
that's
stay in the
always-
top all the time.
That shouldn't even be
because
counted.
nobody
But
trusts.
you will be very happy to know what the top
Probably Mario
three-
Odyssey.
Odyssey is 3, Mario Kart 8
Well, this
Deluxe is 6,
the
Zelda
card
is
out of
7, and the Switch itself is 8.
Nice.
And then the two things next to it is a fucking PlayStation 4 controller and an Xbox One controller.
The
For,
the
two
PlayStation
players.
cards, whether they stay in the tops because nobody trusts Sony with their account number. It's just that simple.
Story.
It's a sad thing. It's
Well, I
true.
will say the first actual PlayStation game, which is right under the color Joy-Con switch, by the way.
It has to be Horizon.
Yeah, it is Horizon. It's Horizon, and then 2 Call of Duties, and then under that is Splatoon.
How well is Horizon sold? Did we go over this? I think we did.
I
It's
thought
like
it
what,
was
3 or
4.
4, isn't it?
And
Million?
it wasn't bundled with anything but it did. I mean, I bought it in June. It was already at 40,
I'm gonna
and
guess that
Well,
was.
didn't the Definitive Edition for it come out already or no?
not that I know of.
If Zelda needed to sell 2 million, what did that game need to sell? I mean, come on.
That's
Two.
true.
So like that was like they said 2 million to make money on it, basically.
So
They already had.
What did Horizon need to sell to make money?
I'm not
Like
sure.
3. I mean, what was it? Terraria need to make what, 3 million or 6?
Well, they probably couldn't say that because they invested so much in that game engine, which they'll probably use in other games. So it's like, how do they
have
divide
to
up
during
How do they divide up the cost? Do they need it all back on Horizon Zero Dawn, or can they spread out on their other games using, they developed that game engine. So now that was probably most of the work.
And my guess is the sequel won't sell as well as the original.
Well, most sequels don't tend to, depending on the franchise. Oh yeah, the complete editions. Oh, the complete edition comes out January 1st. Okay, that's
For Horizon.
Yeah, I thought it was out already. I didn't know if it was out already.
How many DLCs does it have? It only has like one, right?
Yeah, it literally. Oh, and it's like $10 less. Why the fuck did people buy the DLC for that then? If it comes out January 1st, why the fuck would you bother? You know what? I don't care. It's fine. That's that kind of shit that gets on my nerves.
Strange.
What, if the DLC didn't it just come out? Like it's been out for maybe like a month or so. Like why the fuck would you go ahead and buy the damn if you know the definitive edition is coming out? It's whatever. Oh, I'll be asking Juice for his first impressions.
So wait, but how did the Xbox guys buy Record Definitive Edition?
Yeah, you're funny.
What happened?
That came out. What? That's been out for what? 2 or 3 months, hasn't it?
What is a Record?
Oh, you ain't shit, T. Look at that game. I thought that game franchise was good. All right. Wow. You wonder how much it is right now? It's $20.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised it's that expensive.
I'm gonna give my thoughts on. I've been playing it a lot lately because I said I wanted to finish it before, doing a game of the year. I at least wanted to finish the 2017 games I had, or accomplish. Like in Mario, I wanted to finish the final level, and Zelda wanted to finish the DLC. And for me, breaking up Horizon over having basically a 4-month gap between playtimes has really done that game a lot for me, because the biggest downside of that game is you go on a quest. Every main quest is the same. Side quests that I've done are similar. And it's like, okay, there's this group, the Eclipse, these bad guys, they're humans, and then they have control of some of these corrupted robot machines. So you go to this area, it turns into Far Cry, where you tag all the enemies. You can see them through walls using your focus. They're solid, like orange silhouettes. You tag them all, and then you sneak around and you take them out one at a time until somebody sees you and you get in a big gunfight, and you can run and go hide. It's a stealth game basically. And then once you kill off the humans, there might be some smaller robots, and then there's almost always a cutscene with one of the big robot animals that you'll face. It's the first time you face this one, and then once you do that, then you'll see them. You see them more in the world. In literally every quest, that's the formula. You go to it, you tag everybody, you try to sneak attack the humans, which you just basically shoot them with arrows or melee attack them. I mean, there's no strategy, no thought. If they find you and you're just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm just going to die and start that segment over. You die and then you start right where you were before the whole thing, and then you can redo it. And every quest does that. There's not a quest that doesn't have that exact formula. And it just got tedious. And I mean, compared to at the time, I just played Zelda, and all these different ways you can use all your skills, the environments, the physics, see people throwing boomerangs and catch them with magnesis and using it as a blade. And there's so many creative things you can do if you just got to have a creative mind and do them. I mean, yeah, you could just do the dodge flurry rushes on every enemy and it'd be boring as shit. So basically having a 4-month gap between playing Horizon broke it up for me. So if I had done it all in one, I think I'd hate the game. But the fact that I took a break from it because I'm getting close to I think I'm getting close to the end. So I'm like, well, I'm doing the same stuff I was doing, but I hadn't done it in a while.
Hours?
I'm not. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. PS4 doesn't tell you the game playtime. But I want to say
I thought maybe in the game when you play
maybe, but you just do quick saves. I don't even see what my save file. If I did a manual save, maybe it would. I want to guess 40 hours around there, 35 to 45 probably. And I actually figured out that I figured something out. You can basically upgrade your pouches. You can craft like a bigger pouch to hold more ammo, more resources. Well, my pouch was maxed out with resources, so I'm trying to grab these rich meat I needed to make potions, and it said 50 out of 50. I'm like, I already have 50 of these. Why can't? Well, 50 out of 50 means your pouch slots are full, all 50. It doesn't tell you your pouch is full. It just tells you. So I had to expand that. Well, to expand that, I needed rich meats again. So I had to drop a bunch of stuff. And once I expanded that, and then I was like, oh, I can hold 100 items in that pouch. And now I'm going around hunting like turkey and boar and foxes and trying to, because you need certain items to upgrade. And I'm like, well, this is kind of a fun thing. I spent about an hour just hunting animals and using the bow, and I felt like I was playing Tomb Raider when I was just kind of running around using my bow, shooting wildlife, and not really encountering or getting into combat scenarios with humans or those robots. So I was having a lot of fun, and the stories. It's a cool idea, but I don't like the kind of the twist I got to, or what the bad guy is and its source of origin. But it's a cool idea for a post-apocalyptic kind of Earth. I like the ideas that they brought. The characters aren't memorable in any way. Most of them are forgettable. I don't know anybody's name other than Aloy. But it's a pretty good game. I think I would say it's in a B plus range right now for me. So I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it. But like I said, if I played it all back to back, I was so sick of that combat, I just had to stop playing it. And it was nice to have the luxury of have a bunch of other games to play and come back to it. And listen to people talk about the game of the year. Almost everybody talks about how good it looks. Like they spend as much time talking about that as the gameplay is great too. Well, if it was so great, why wouldn't you talk about that for 2 minutes? Why are you talking about how good it looks for 2 minutes? So I think some people are kind of under the spell, because it proves to me that there's absolutely no need for a PS4 Pro. There's absolutely zero need. That game looks
there is.
Looks
There's
phenomenal.
One specific need. It's called the PS4 PSVR.
Maybe.
Oh, you really don't need it.
I don't even know how much. I don't know how much it really benefits the VR, but
I heard it was pretty good, pretty big difference.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, like this game
Compatibility.
on just a 1080p, it's one of the last 1080p TVs before Sony switched to 4K. So I mean, the technology was perfected, and the game looks great. Yeah, it looks amazing, and I have no regrets about not buying the Pro, getting a 4K TV. It just looks great, and I think a lot of people who are even putting it at their game of the year, or near the top, it's like I think they're just seducted by how good the game looks, because when you really break down what you can do, it's just kind of fun. It's not quite up to the level, like it's about equal to Tomb Raider at times. It's above it at times, but then it's more like Far Cry, which I hate at other times. And it's like,
it's funny that you brought this up, because I was thinking about this today, and I hate to sound like an SJW, but
no, you don't.
Would this game get more accolades, get more sales, get more play if it wasn't Alloy or Aloy? How do you say her name?
Aloy.
Aloy. If it wasn't Aloy, which is definitely a play on Alloy, metals and whatnot. But if Aloy was Turok or some dude, some scruffy faced dude,
I'm about to say, I think that's half of the appeal of the game.
I feel like even Tomb Raider. You brought up Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider should have sold. I think Tomb Raider would have sold way more if you were playing as Larry and Laura.
Well, look at Uncharted.
There's something, Uncharted. Yeah, there you go.
Look at the Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
and I mean, $40 game. It's about the same length as Uncharted.
I hear people say all the time, "Well, it's better than Uncharted 4," but nobody bought it. Well, I mean, it sold, but it didn't sell what Uncharted 4 sold.
And how come no one's talking about it in their game? How come the Uncharted fanboys, the Naughty Dog fanboys, aren't talking about
exactly
Lost Legacy? Why is it? Because Nathan Drake's on it, and that proves to me that they don't care about the gameplay. They just care that the character.
Like the character.
They love the character, and they like the story and the cutscenes. Like that's proof to me that that's what most of those people get out of it. Because why aren't you all over Lost Legacy? I would be more interested to play that because I would rather look at Chloe than Nathan Drake. That's just me. But
I just feel like a lot of guys in video games have an issue playing as a female. You know, they won't want to admit it. They call me SJW for saying that, but I think that's a real thing.
I don't get
understand what the problem is.
Wouldn't you rather look at a hot ass on screen the whole time?
I don't want to play as a woman. You know, I feel like a lot of dudes feel that way.
That's a good point.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think the opposite. I think if Aloy was a dude, it wouldn't have sold what it did. I think it would be. It's so generic. I mean, you have like those.
Is it more generic than Just Cause?
You see, like all the characters look exactly the fucking same. Like there's games with Nathan Drake. There's seriously like 30 fucking characters look exactly the same. I think if you would have done it again with Horizon, I don't think it would have sold what it did.
I mean,
but Nathan Drake sold. So, and he wasn't anybody before.
That's because Uncharted has like a legacy behind it already.
Well, but it wasn't. There was no legacy when Uncharted 1 came out, and it had all the same stuff it has now as far as characters. And,
well, I think because when Uncharted 1 first came out, I mean, everyone was talking about how probably how good the story is, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's necessarily because it's a dude.
Well, from what I hear, what's it called? Horizon has an excellent story. I hear that all the time. So,
but take into account, for example, how many people almost wanted Link to be a chick when everybody thought it was going to be a chick.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get past that whole like people actually want girls in their games more.
I know. I mean, I think there's a debate. I think both sides have a point. Like, there's definitely people who would rather play as a guy, and then there's definitely people like me, and Terrell probably, Robert probably.
I'm like, this man just go fucking just throw us under the bus like this.
Would literally rather.
I'm not disagreeing, but still,
female be what you see on screen all the time, But just looking at, for some reason, VG Charts has Uncharted, the first game, listed as a PS4 game, so I don't know. I don't know.
Are they counting the collection, maybe?
This is the one I forgot to mention. Duh. Bayonetta. Everybody loves Bayonetta, but it doesn't sell for shit.
Well, I think that's part of it.
I think it also has to do with it just not. Yeah, it's not even like that. It's just not going to be that big, like, period.
Up to a Devil May Cry sold, though.
Look at I was going to look at Devil May Cry.
How much does it sell?
I don't remember.
3 million, 3 million.
It didn't sell like insane.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
And that's on multiple platforms anyway.
Well, that's just. I'm just looking at that.
No, it's not. The original Devil May Cry was only on PS2, and they sold millions of copies.
How many?
Yeah, sold 3 million, and then
let's see.
3 sold 2 million. There
was no legacy. There's no legacy behind Devil May Cry.
I don't think there's.
I think we're gonna see a situation where Bayonetta 3 is gonna sell a ton.
I'd be curious to see how well the collection sells.
I mean, I hope so, but I believe I'm on.
Devil May Cry sales went down though. Look like.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, but it started like 3, and then it dropped.
Sometimes the second one will be higher, but mostly it'll drop. Most of the time,
it's been like a steady decline since pretty much the first game.
It's like personally,
that happens with every game almost. Well, except for Nintendo.
Personally, I'm like with Juice. I prefer seeing like a chick on my screen, but maybe statistically, what T is saying is true.
Yeah,
I just can't see
outside. Like me,
the concept. Just to me, it's too idiot. It's too much like stupidity. Thinking that it matters if it's a chick or a dude in general. I prefer seeing a female, but if it's a dude, I don't give a fuck. And maybe the concept is too stupid for me to understand. Maybe statistically it is true. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm pulling myself because I don't understand why, and I don't see that. I'm trying to pull myself outside of who I am and see it from maybe somebody else's perspective. And I see generic games with dudes sell a lot more than generic games with females, and I'm like, what's that?
I mean, I think it depends.
Yeah, I think.
I think that kind of goes into our current society's
view. I think it depends on the games. How much did Just Cause 3 actually sell? Does anyone know?
Probably not that good.
Because I don't think
that great. But
I don't think there's any way to prove one way or the other. I think.
Oh, there's no way to prove it. Nobody would admit it. Like the dudes who who would not play a game or who don't pay attention to games that have girl lead characters, they won't say, "Yeah,
Let's
that's why I'm
see.
not playing it." So
Just
you
Cause 3 almost sold almost 2 million.
Almost two.
Which ironically enough is better selling than
generic ass game. It's the worst one in the series.
I mean, if that's just
still,
PS4. If I include both, it's like 3 million.
Yeah.
Like Just Cause
It's
2
just-
sold like almost 4.
Well, I mean,
It's just like in
Bayonetta was,
Hollywood, they say that a female-led movie isn't gonna make as much money,
Yeah,
and
it's
maybe
the same.
that's true. But it's just such a shame because you guys know how much I loved Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider is dope.
And then you got people who just played both and still can somehow think Uncharted is a better game.
It's not a better game. It's a better production wise.
Maybe overall, including the story, cinematics, and stuff, better on that level. But if you just strip down to gameplay,
And I love Uncharted. It's
like,
not
are you kidding me? Like, it's Horizon has the same problem when you need to climb something, you have to search for little yellow ropes or worn ledges,
Mhm.
and then all you do is hold up and turn. You could turn away, and she's doing all this acrobatic leaping, jumping like fast, and it's like, why even have this? Why not just make it automatic anyway? Like, why do I even have to hold up? Zelda, you have to hold up, but you still got to look up, strategize. Okay, I need to find a ledge here because I'm running out of stamina, and it's more of a strategic thing. And with these games, with Uncharted, it's like, okay, now there's little notches on the wall. I know I can climb. I can only climb this one spot. I can't climb anything else. And at least Tomb Raider, anything that was a ledge, they just automatically had her be able to grab and pull herself up onto it. Didn't matter. There's a few exceptions, I guess, some invisible walls. Horizon has so many invisible walls. I was gonna share a clip where I'm trying to jump down to this. Where I needed to go was down below, like maybe a 20-foot drop. There was a path going across this ravine, and I'm jumping over this 1 foot high brick, and it wouldn't let me. It just kept. There's an invisible wall there, and I'm just like jumping in the air and looking all weird. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why can't I jump down there? Like, that's not gonna kill her. And
That's one of the. Sorry, I thought you were done.
I'm just saying, yeah, it's just a game like that. Yeah, it doesn't. Not every game has to have full freedom, but I mean, this is an open world game, and all
well,
that.
now it does because Zelda did it.
Yeah,
It's
and
one of the
like-
reasons why I cannot for the life of me play Deus Ex. I played the one on the Wii U, and I started playing it at my brother's on the PS4 because I wanted to buy it, but I wanted to play it first. And like every fucking single thing is highlighted: the windows, the guns, the people, the ladders. Like everything is highlighted. I don't need to see that. I assume if I see a fucking ladder, I can climb it. You don't need to show me that.
I know.
There is a lot of highlighting it. Like, I can't deny it. I love the game, but it definitely gets a little out of hand.
It's like, come on. It's just like in what the fuck was I playing? I'm playing Mario Odyssey. I'm at the very last level. You need 999 moons. It's no checkpoints. It's the Champion's Road, basically. And I overtake a Goomba. And at the bottom, it tells me hold Y to run, press B to jump.
Oh god, I can't stand that.
I'm like, I'm 50 hours into this game, and it would not go away until I like jumped on the mini boss's head the first time, and then it went away. Then I overtake the lava dude, and it tells me the same shit until I get to a different area, and then it goes away. And not only does it do that the first time you play that level, it does it every time.
It does it. That is my biggest complaint.
And I'm like, Nintendo
Odyssey.
is just so. That's their biggest, I think, most consistent thing they do wrong in their games is you're so far into a game and they still feel they need to tell you.
They didn't do that in Zelda. I will say that.
No,
They
not in
just-
Zelda.
But you're right. But I think there's a particular reason why they did it in Mario Odyssey, and it's because they know the 2D Mario guys don't always like the 3D Mario games, and they think there's just a curve that these guys don't like, and they just made it super like I guess not really hand or handholdy, but just like they try to make it as like what's the word I'm looking for? As appealing to everybody as they possibly
Yeah,
could.
but it's like,
And
do
it
two
just
things.
hurts the people like us because it was so annoying. You're right. Every level's like that. And it's just like, stop giving me
Do
that
that in the
stupid
first-
pop-up.
I was gonna say, wasn't it was a Galaxy 1 or 2 had that fucking
Yeah.
instructional DVD?
And I'm trying to take photos, and it's just like not like the in-game stuff, but like
A screenshot.
just a quick screenshot or whatever. And it's just like I don't want to take a photo with that stupid pop-up on it. With the
Let me turn hints off. That's an easy solution.
yeah, or just
toggle.
let me turn hints off. Beautiful.
Or be smart enough to know that I'm at a certain point in the game.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell me anymore. Like
Right. If you're
they do
like,
that a lot. They do it in many games over many generations.
yeah.
And it's like, I don't know why.
But to me, it's been the most egregious in Odyssey. It's just like,
to me, relatively unoffensive considering it just shows up on the screen. It's not like the game
but when
stops you.
but I don't
you're
want
playing the hardest level in the game, and you're
No, it's still not justified.
and
I'm
it's
just
taking
saying.
up. It's blocking your view at the bottom. It's like, come on.
It takes me out of the game every time I see it. Like I'm running around.
Oh no, I mean I agree. It's still like it shouldn't be there.
Oh, yeah.
Mario 64 didn't do that shit.
I liked it the first time you did something. I like to know, hey, this is what you got to do. These are the controls. But I don't need that after hour 60.
Mario 64 never did that shit. Like it told you, like if you didn't talk to Toad, good luck. if you didn't know what to do.
You know, just for anybody listening, I mean, I picked on Horizon. Now I'm picking on Mario Odyssey. So I think it's pretty fair there.
That's my only.
Look, guys, Juice isn't biased. See, he's not biased. You see it?
So,
he's not biased.
So we're talking about different games here. Let's kind of run down the year that we had here and reminisce, try to remember how we felt. And you know, my memory's not as good as it used to be, but this time last year we were excited because
how old do you think you are?
old enough where I have trouble remembering things sometimes. Like I'll turn
his bowels for a second.
I'll turn the light on to like my outside light or turn it off at night.
Oh no!
I'll go in the other room and maybe go to the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I gotta turn off the outside light, and I go up and it's already out. I'm like, what the fuck? I just turned it off and I didn't even remember.
You get freaked out, like somebody turned off my damn.
That kind of shit happens. Anyway.
Oh my heart!
Let's go back January 1st, 2017.
Oh my god!
We were all excited because on the 13th, was it the 12th or the 13th?
The 12th.
12th.
The 12th.
It was 12th.
Was the January event for the Switch reveal. And it was funny because one of those biggest the videos I was watching for biggest fails of 2017, somebody actually had the January event as one of the biggest fails. I'm like, it wasn't that fucking bad, people. But
that was great.
Other than the couple of the translators couldn't.
Yeah, they tried to make that stuff out to be.
But that was pretty
it
funny.
Yeah, the one dude couldn't keep up with what's his
Poor dude.
Are you talking about oh fuck, what's
No
his
More
name?
Heroes?
No More Heroes.
What's his name?
That was so funny.
No,
I was
one
gonna
his name. But anyway, January 12th, we were all excited, but you know, I wasn't feeling super excited about what the Switch was at that point because I didn't want the hybrid. So I know I can remember that, you know, like it was yesterday. My feelings of like, man, like it's a new Nintendo system. It's got Zelda, but I just really I don't need that portability. I'd rather have a stationary console, maybe a little more power. You know, I was kind of one of those guys. Still excited for the games and the announcement, but Robert was the most excited. I remember beforehand.
I felt vindicated when I saw that shit. I said, yes!
You guys remember what you were thinking before the 12th reveal?
I want
Is
it
the
to be good.
12th reveal the one that started with 1-2 Switch?
Mm-hmm.
I was super hyped before I saw 1-2 Switch.
What were you thinking? Because you weren't on the podcast back then. No. What were you thinking when you first saw what the Switch was going to be? Do you remember?
I remember when they revealed it. The system at first, I was like, oh, damn, I can't believe, it's actually this hybrid thing. Like, when people talked about it and everything, I never believed any of those rumors and the fake, like, 3D prints and all that shit. I never believed any of that. But when I saw the system, I was like, damn. So only then I actually started thinking about what it could be. But then by the time I started thinking about how interested I was by the concept, they showed 1-2 Switch. And I was like, oh, fuck, no. This is, like, I don't care what the system is. If these are the games I'm going to get, like, my hype just died when that happened.
I was excited for motion controls, so I wasn't even bothered by seeing 1-2 switch. I was like,
I
all
got
right.
super excited about the Joy-Cons when they showed that. That was like with the ice cubes and all that shit. That was fucking amazing. But you don't start a brand new console that needs to be a whole new thing by that demo shit that actually was like a $60 game.
Yeah, I mean, some people, I heard a lot of people saying that. I think it was
Red
good
Dead
to
Redemption.
get it out of the way, because after all the other games we saw, I wasn't really thinking about 1-2 switch anymore.
Yeah.
But
People thought it was Red Dead Redemption. And the cowboy dude came out.
yeah,
I thought it was Red Dead Redemption. I
they
swear.
showed ARMS right after that, and I wasn't sold on the preview. It wasn't until the
neither. Yeah.
Treehouse the next day. I was waiting in line to pre-order my Switch. I was watching the Treehouse play ARMS on my phone. I'm like, wow, this game looks cool. They kept talking about the depth, and I was like, yeah, you keep saying it. And then I'm like, wow. To me, honestly, it's still one of the best. Like, hey, this game was built for the ground up for the Switch. It still looks like that to me compared to, like, we were playing Rocket League. We've been playing Zelda again and Xenoblade. And I turn on ARMS when me and Terrell played, and it's like, this game is colorful. It's like, I mean, I hate to be resolution whoring here, but like, it looks clean. It looks sharp. It runs great. Like, there's no complaints about the visuals. To me, it looks one of the best examples of what the Switch can do. And yeah, it's a fighting game. There's not huge environments and all that, but it's just a really nice looking game. And if you haven't played it in a while and you're playing Xenoblade and you turn on ARMS, you're like, holy crap, this looks
I'm not
like.
sure any of these games were built with, at least the first year, were built. Think this is going to be a Switch game, because I think when they started development, they weren't really sure yet about Wii U.
I kind of feel like since ARMS was the Mario Kart 8 team, like that was 2014. The Switch was.
Oh, maybe ARMS. Okay, you're right. Maybe ARMS.
It just feels
That's
like
why it looks so good.
yeah, turn it back, like turn it on, and and play the new character and new stages. Like, I was really like, holy shit! Like this looks like close to Xbox One, original type of visuals is what it made me feel when I was playing it, and it was like. But anyway, I just remember seeing ARMS for the first time on that direct, and I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't like excited.
I looked at that. I remember seeing that for the first time, thinking, "Man, that is a clean looking game. It is just like no jaggies, smooth. The gameplay is quick." I'm like,
yeah, they showed
like
us. All they showed was Springman and Ribbon Girl, I believe. Then
Yeah, that's all we got.
And then I was like, yeah, that'd probably be 5 characters.
This dude.
Because he's a fucking pessimist.
last week he's like, there'll be about 5-10 more, and then they're done. They just confirmed.
Oh yeah, wait, what? That's so true. He confirmed
I don't
that.
like that he was right about that, because I feel like
No,
Robert
I
was-
said
Well,
maybe
first you said
it ended
none.
20.
Yeah, and
And
then
then-
we talked you into adding more.
Yeah,
And
and then no, never mind. It's like no, we're
If
not
that
gonna
game
finish
sold 3-4 million, I guarantee you they wouldn't be done.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I think it's probably barely 2.
and I know Robert has a different take on that direct, because the next morning he was all excited to go
Yeah,
play
I
the
mean,
Switch.
Talk about bizarre. Like
shit.
That was crazy.
that was such a fantastic. I mean, this whole year has been like probably my favorite year like ever, because it's like it just genuinely blows my mind that in January, I had Rob in my bedroom.
Wow, can we not do that?
So wrong.
Why did you? And you said it so casually too, like I was in my bedroom. Ooh. Sit down,
Okay,
Robert.
in my house. In my house.
Get in my bed, Robert.
Okay,
I think I had the most unique experience of it. But go ahead and finish yours, Robert, and Rob in your bedroom story. Go ahead.
Oh man,
it was Rob was in my house.
A 35-year-old man in your bedroom.
can we stop? My fucking heart hurts, yo.
Okay, he was in my house. I mean, I don't know why I
You're
said
dumb as shit. Please,
and it was
please.
just crazy that very next day go to play the Switch, and I was so damn excited, and I remember just having it for the first time, touching it for the first time.
Are you talking about the game or Rob?
I'm so done with everything. Cut this shit out.
And I remember I remember, the first thing that we did, I was like, "Oh, Zelda's right there," and we were the first ones to Zelda. Uh, and the guy handed me the controller, and I was just like shocked. I was like, "I can't believe this thing is happening." And I mean, talk about some of the craziest experience. One of the craziest experience I never thought I'd say, that I would go to is an early thing, to play that. I think it's so cool. And then, you had the Switch touchscreen, that thing happened, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh
And
yeah.
Did you guys wear matching Spider-Man pajamas? Or oh my
I
goodness!
don't think so. No,
I can feel it all, y'all.
but like it was that I mean, I'll never forget those moments. Like those days went by so quick. I mean, it was just it was insanity, and I love those days. Those days were, I
And I'm
mean,
so glad I had an
insane.
opportunity to go, and it would have cost me like $500-600. And I'm like next thing I knew, the system was out. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't waste that $500 to go play it for 2 hours or whatever. Like if that would have been a all day, maybe 2 day type event, but it was like literally a 3-4 hour window or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't spend $600-700 because if me and Rob went, we were gonna get in a hotel and stuff. We were gonna ask, hey, can we crash at your place? So it was gonna be an expensive trip.
This is such a weird fucking conversation, yo.
And I was so glad. Like at first, I was bummed. What a missed opportunity. And then it felt like just a blink of the eye. The Switch was out, and I'm like, God, I'm so glad I didn't waste that money. I'd rather that money went towards my Switch and a bunch of games this year.
You guys remember what I was doing?
You were on a cruise, weren't you?
I was on a flipping cruise.
Yeah, you're on a
In
cruise.
the freaking Caribbean, and I'm like, I was trying to remember why. I don't remember it that well. Oh yeah, because I was spending $30 like it was 1999 in cell phone, trying to watch the event on my cell phone and having to pay for minutes on the damn cruise so I can watch the thing. And that was terrible. But I couldn't wait until I got off the cruise, so I had to pay for some internet time there so I can watch the video. And I was just smiling, man. I was just smiling the whole time. And then I had Robert pre-order one for me. Almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because I was not around and I wouldn't have had one probably.
I got one as a backup just in case.
Can I be considered hero of the year?
Yeah, I
No,
gave you all the
absolutely not.
praise. I gave you all the praise
don't
I could give
deserve
you
it.
at the time.
So we could be. I mean, if we go by, every little step, we're going to be doing a 4-hour podcast. But I'm going to jump to the day the system was released and going to the midnight launch and getting a poster and getting the game. And it was cold and windy. And went with my buddy Derek Steele Fox. He used my other pre-order at GameStop and picked that up. Played Zelda, I want to say, till about 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. I got all week off. I got all 9 days to play this game, and went to bed. Woke up, and I literally maybe what did it come out on a Friday?
Yeah, it came out on Friday.
So I played a bit on that Friday, a couple hours here and there and eat. On that Saturday, I played for 13 hours straight, and I cannot tell you. I don't even know if that's ever happened before. I know there were some Call of Duty days where I'd play like 9 hours straight back in the day, but literally played from like 11 in the morning till 1 at night, without even, I think I paused it to eat something and go to the bathroom. And I don't think I've ever done that before. This game was just like, it was just perfect. Like I didn't want to stop playing it, and I had to go out buy a Pro controller because my hands were getting so damn cramped by the Joy-Con grip being just too small for my hands. So I know Robert still uses it, but the A and B, the buttons are just a little too small, and it just kind of hurt to press them after a while. And so I went out and bought the Pro controller. But I mean, it brought me right back to Ocarina of Time on around Christmas time. I had like holiday lights up in my bedroom back in the day. On the I was in the basement at my parents' house, had a cool little setup downstairs, and playing Ocarina of Time from when it launched throughout Christmas, and like Breath of the Wild took me right back to that moment, and it was in March. Like it would have been even probably more amazing if it had been a holiday, but just like, oh man, one of my fondest memories. So anybody remember their first time playing the Switch, playing Zelda?
He's good. First time, oh yeah. Mine was very similar to yours. She was like, it was the first time in a long time that like I was just like afraid, like I got scared by a Zelda game. It was like since Ocarina of Time, because I remember like the first time going into the Deku Tree, that was just frightening. You got to remember what the time when this game came out, as far as
daunting is
time. It was daunting, man. It was just like this is Zelda in 3D, and I'm going into this creepy ass tree, and there's like a giant spider web in the middle of, like, it was just like a totally different thing. And I felt the same way coming out of that resurrection shrine, or is that what it's called? Yeah, the
Shrine of Resurrection,
the Shrine of Resurrection.
Just
being like, this is daunting, like looking out into the world and then seeing like the weird like robotic spider thing that moves and shoots this red light at you, and it's like, what is this? Is like, it was just way different. Even like what's the remember the first time you got in the forest temple, how crazy that was in Ocarina of Time? It's like, this is amazing. And I could, you hear that little like it sticks with you, man. And that's what Zelda Breath of the Wild did. It just stuck with me right away, especially when it got a little darker, and you realize how this is not a hold hand Zelda. Like, you died a lot in the beginning, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is different. Am I going to be able to beat this game? And you just get, you level up and you get stronger, and you stop running away from everything like you do in the beginning. And like I knew this system was going to be something special after that. And obviously this is a Wii U game, but it just felt different. This is this is a new console, which is always cool to begin with. But the Switch was so different. I remember just like unpacking the thing and just like doing the clicky thing with the Joy-Cons just for like 10 minutes straight. Click, click, click. Just like, it was just it's such a different console than what we're used to playing. And it took me right back to that uniqueness of the N64. That's why I always compare them. It gave me that similar feel. So
I just wanted to say, because you said that the sliding in the Joy-Cons into the control thing for the first time made me feel like when you play GoldenEye and you like load your controller with the rumble.
Yeah, like the first time you hit rumble, it was like, what? It was. I hate that I can't explain this in a way people would understand.
I know.
Like, a lot of gamers were like, "Oh, rumble, big deal." But the first time that thing goes, and you never felt that before in a video game, and the first time that happens, it's alien. It's like, how is this possible?
It's like, I'm actually feeling the fucking bullets.
Yeah, I'm feeling bullets hit me like through my hands. This is crazy.
You'll never forget your first time, folks.
That, but it's just like, it's so cool, man. And that's what the Switch felt like. It felt like that rumble for the first time, or running or going into the castle in Mario 64 for the first time. Like, what is this? This is different.
Yeah, I still remember the first nightfall on the plateau.
Oh my gosh!
It waits until you do activate I think the tower, and then the day-night cycle kicks in. And I was just like, oh, this is just magical. Like, I felt like I was there. I don't feel like I was playing it. I literally felt like I was there. It's crazy. But if somebody else wants to talk about maybe not even your first time playing Zelda, just any like major thing revolving, when the Switch came out.
That's what I wanted to say, because for me, more than Zelda itself, because what T was describing with Ocarina of Time, I feel that's something you can never truly relive unless you were there. For me, it was like I was playing Zelda, and I was like, damn, I've been playing for like hours now already. I really gotta go to the toilet now. And I was like, oh, wait, it's a Switch. And then you left it up for the first time. And you realize that it's no longer the Wii U, and you could actually take this controller to the toilet flawlessly because the wall is like wood, and the signal of the Wii U wouldn't get through it, and you're just playing your Switch there. Like that feeling was amazing.
Yeah, and even when you emptied out, it probably felt even more amazing.
Two points for Robert.
That was a 3-pointer. That was good.
Give this man an award. Jesus Christ.
Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead, Terrell.
I was gonna say it's I guess that first weekend I got it because like I got it from Amazon. I was surprised Amazon didn't fuck up my pre-order. I got it the day of. I got it Friday afternoon. And I just remember that whole fucking weekend, I could not keep my hands off it. Like, even if I wasn't playing it, I just had it in my hands for some fucking reason. And it's that weird, like, this is my gaming console. Like, I went and looked at my Wii U for a second, went, this is stronger than this? Like, and it's weird because phones have been like this for a while.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's not a big fucking deal. It's just a tablet, right? Yeah. And you go look at it, you're like, fuck. Like, it's like, man, I just played like 6 hours of Zelda. Let me put the thing down. And then you're picking it up. I'm just picking it up again. Just fucking, I just like had it in my hands and shit. Took all the Joy-Cons, was fucking around. It's just a weird experience for me, man.
Before I got those gel grips, I pretty much hated portable mode. Like, there's no ergonomics to the Joy-Cons. They're just flat. There's nothing to hold on to. So I really struggled with the portable mode till I got those like a month later or whatever. And that changed my whole world, the whole outlook on the Switch in portable mode.
Miss the Fisher Price ergonomics of the gamepad.
What I'll say is that I remember I saw Logan, and then what happens was right after that I went to GameStop.
What you remember?
After I went to GameStop, I picked it up, and it was amazing. Like, the first time holding this guy, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm holding this guy.
You do like a 24-hour stream of fucking Zelda.
Yeah, I remember. And that's when I played for the first time in my life. I played 24 hours straight of Zelda.
That makes up half his entire playtime of Zelda was that first night.
No, to be honest, technically, because by Monday I beat the game. I remember.
I know we were giving you shit for rushing through. I mean, you had like 40, 50 hours into it, but you still...
Yeah, it was already 50 hours.
We give Robert shit regardless.
I'm still like enjoying that game.
And then by the end of its run, I mean, now I have like 140 hours. So think about 50. Yeah, I have 140. And so think about it. That 50, after 50 hours, still was able to play another 90 hours of this game.
Yeah,
you can still play even more.
Yeah.
What happened?
Because you didn't get like the actual good ending. You got like the bad ending technically.
Did I?
When? Yeah, because you didn't beat all Divine Beasts. That's why you're playing.
I did beat the Divine Beasts because remember, like I kept trying to do it without the Divine Beasts, but I couldn't because I was horrible at like.
Oh yeah, because you weren't cooking.
No, yeah, I didn't.
You still haven't really cooked.
I still don't cook.
I spent an hour cooking probably total since the DLC came out.
Really? I don't like to mess with that. I just run around. And I never remember.
Exactly what you said.
I never used the horse
10 months ago.
I never used the horse.
I know you didn't use horses, and it's like
you didn't.
You barely used the horse
ran everywhere. It was the weirdest fucking thing.
Because it's so fun to just run around this world.
I can't stand holding up on that analog stick for that long. That's what's so nice about the horse. You just let it go.
I do cook a lot, but I just never use the horse. My fiance always uses the horse, but I liked the flying, so I was like going high and then just floating around.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody can play it a different way. I mean, I'd say most of my exploration was on the horse until I saw something I had to climb. I'd get off the horse, I'd go do what I had to do, and then I'd sail down to the horse and continue. So, I mean, the best music in the game, in my opinion, other than Hyrule Castle, is when you're riding on the horse. But everybody had their own experience. That's what was so beautiful. Remember, we were sharing stories of things that were happening while we were playing, like. Yeah. And
how did you get there? Well, I just ran. I didn't use any. I didn't cook anything to keep warm. I just kind of ran and kept eating food till I got to the shrine. I cooked some herbs or whatever. I was like, really? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, I found a tunic. What?
Yeah, that was the weird the conversation around Zelda for like the first what was that like month or two?
At least.
Yeah.
It was just like Jesus, like you did what? How'd you do that? How do I do that? Nah, don't
God,
tell me. I'll figure it out.
I remember when I decided I was gonna get close to the castle. Like, I don't know.
Like,
At one
that was
point,
that-
I was a
it
while. I was a bit into
I was
the
afraid
game.
of the castle for a
I did
while.
at least 2 divine beasts, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. The castle's there. I'm just gonna start heading that way. And then I was hiding from taking the long way because every time I see a guardian, I would run from it, and
Run.
I started getting closer, and then I'm starting to snap shots as I was getting closer, and I was like, you know what? Like, this looks so awesome up close, but I was so terrified. I didn't want to enter the castle because I wanted to wait. I wasn't one of those people like, I think Dr. Feelgood, he's got like 300 hours in the game, hasn't been to the castle yet. You know, I wasn't going to go like that extreme, but I waited till like,
What, even
I
now?
didn't go inside it till maybe 40, 50 hours into the game. But just approaching it was such a cool moment for me. And it's like, I have those screenshots now. I have almost 700 just for Zelda on my Switch. And I was actually flipping through them and kind of going, it was like a scrapbook. I was like remembering all the things that had happened as I was taking photos, which is another
Name that
awesome.
cutscene for the first time,
And just the
and then going
quality
into
of
the room and getting stuck in there with the Lionel.
getting
oh.
trapped. Yeah, that was, I mean, just so many awesome moments. But there was a bunch of other games come out. I mean, so it's been a really good year for gaming. We don't have to just focus on Zelda. I mean, Terrell, you had, I want to give you a topic here, but you know, one of your favorite games of the year was a throwback. Sonic Mania finally comes out. I'm sure that was
was magical, man.
for a Sonic fan.
I didn't get to enjoy it as much because I think Mario Rabbids came out like what was it, a few weeks later? Because I think I got that right. I think Mania came out like early August, and Mario Rabbids came out like August 29th or August 30th or some
29th,
shit.
29th.
Actually, to me, that was the beginning of the string of holy shit, I want to play this game. You got a few weeks, bitch, because here comes the other one. And it just became a string of play it. And it was even crazier for some of the rest of us because I think, what was it? T and Robert ended up getting like NBA on top of like in the NBA, what was it? Doom, fucking
Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim, that's what I'm missing.
LA Noir.
There was just a bunch of fucking games, dude. And it's weird because the beginning of the year we were kind of like, I don't know, we're kind of running out of stuff. I think that was when we were trying the indie stuff the most. Because I think that's when you bought like Fast RMX and Snake Pass,
Which was also awesome.
which was cool. And then like it seemed like we hit like June or July, and we just hit this weird like speed blitz for like the next 4 or 5 months of just games.
Yeah.
And it's just weird because as a Wii U owner, you were like, oh, I got like 3 months. No, no, you don't. And for me, I was also playing the 3DS still. I was playing the 3DS during the whole thing. So it was
and PS4, you bought some PS4 games.
Yeah, that's when I bought the PS4 a month before I bought the Switch. And it was the
that was a bad idea.
I don't think I've beaten any game on the PS4 that I've bought. I don't think I have like what 1, 2, 3, about 5 or 6 games. I don't think I've beaten any of them.
It was a pretty good start to the year because Gravity Rush 2 was I really love that game.
Yeah, that was
Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 7 was decent. I mean, it was good. It wasn't great.
You always do this shit, just throw shade at Resident Evil for some reason.
That game I like powered through. I thought it was really good.
But how many times do you think you'll ever play that game again?
Wow.
Well, because it's a horror game, I feel like I'm like too like I feel like it'd be a struggle to go back into it.
Because the gameplay doesn't lend itself to I want to play this game more. Like I just wanted to get it done and over with. Honestly, like it's frustrating now how slow it forced you to move and stuff. But anyway, let's talk about good things.
You're the one who went into the tangent.
I said it was good though. I like.
You're the one who went into the tangent.
I know there are some people that were glad that it didn't do Resident Evil 6 again, so I mean that was a good thing.
That was Capcom's like one good footing this year, and then like everything else just became a weird stumbling and falling.
But Sony had a lot of exclusives in the first 4 months or so, like from Gravity Rush to what was that other one called? Neo.
Near.
Oh yeah, Neo.
Neo.
Yeah,
Neo.
Neo,
Horizon.
Nier, Persona 4 came out around the same time. I mean, Persona 5.
Yeah, and
Persona
Horizons. I mean,
I
Sony
can't
killed
count. Leave
it.
me alone.
I remember saying like I was worried that I was like, man, Sony Horizon looks like at one point I was like, man, just the animations, the combat looks so much like more. I don't know what the word, but Zelda looks stiff, and because I hadn't played it yet, and I was like, man, the combat just kind of looks stiff and doesn't look nearly as compelling.
Remember when you were concerned?
I was a
'cause you didn't
little
know if
worried that Horizon was going to be a better game to play just based
Remember
on
when
combat.
you said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play Horizon," and a few
Well,
days
it's
later,
something.
Zelda came out. You see
Yeah.
how that ended?
Well, I didn't buy Horizon until June. Remember,
I know
had
that was the
pre-ordered,
point I was making.
canceled my pre-order, but so I mean, there was some good games on the PlayStation for sure. Xbox had a pretty rough year, but
Well, it always does because it's
so
trash.
highlight maybe not like not based on the quality of a game or just a moment of 2017. Rob, I know you had two especially for you 2017 that stands out. I'm sure. I mean, goes without saying. The first one you already talked about was playing the Switch early.
And then you're talking about E3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, E3 again blew my mind, and I mean like I'll never forget those moments. Like, so it was so overwhelming E3, because like I can never replicate that. I can never replicate that. I somehow actually got into the ARMS tournament. And actually managed to see Miyamoto standing right next to me, and managed to see Reggie and shake the hand of Mr. Ibuki. Like you can't recapture that. Or like
That's crazy. That was crazy.
When they gave me the ARMS, I cried, man. I was like, it was just so overwhelming that how just adding on so many things, and then like it just blew my mind. And like I remember texting you guys, like oh my God, guys, be sure to watch the ARMS tournament because I'm actually gonna be on it. And like I was shaking. I remember they told me to sign the what's it called, to the form. Yeah, or I don't know if it's that, just so you could be on camera.
Oh yeah, they can use your
like one of those. Yeah, and so I remember I took the pen and I was shaking so much I could barely write. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, I'm shaking, and she's like, and she was just laughing. She's like, it's okay. And I'm like, I almost wanted to ask her, like, can you write this for me because I can't write.
Fucking Zeke's hands weren't shaking, that's for sure.
Oh, it was. They were, as they were beating that ass.
Well, it was still. It was absolutely insanity, and I still can't believe it that that if you go on Nintendo's YouTube channel, I'm on there, and you can see like I still have the hoodie. The hoodie is super comfortable.
There forever, man.
Yeah, that will never be thrown out in the garbage. Never makes it. It's such a comfortable hoodie. It's such a memorable. Like wow, holy crap! How many people have that hoodie? Like maybe 20. Like I don't know. Like it's incredible, and just God, that those moments were so insane. And
those tournaments were all pretty good.
Yeah,
Pokken, ARMS, and Splatoon, they're all pretty enjoyable to watch from home. So anybody, highlight. It can be a game, it can be the Switch, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to think of mine right now, actually.
Anybody? It's like, how are you gonna top that anyway? All that E3 shit.
I know.
The E3 is just a high personally.
Something for you personally.
I know, yeah. Well, for me, one of my goals in the beginning of this year, I really wanted with my YouTube channel to do just once a podcast or something, and I can't believe I'm still fucking here. Like every week, just having fun with you guys, and for me, that's a massive highlight. Like I never expected to actually come apart like a regular on this crew, just laughing with you guys every week. It's amazing.
Yeah, because you were always watching, chiming in on the chat and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was always watching. That's why, yeah.
And unfortunately, we got to drop retro today.
I know. I know what your highlight. You had a debate with OJ this year. That was definitely a highlight.
Why bring that up? I want to see we bring that up.
That was fun.
I think OJ learned a lot from that. I think he got a lot of backlash.
He did. because he definitely changed his way about going to challenge someone's opinions and stuff, and not just stating his as facts. And
Yeah.
you know, it
I
was
think he learned a lot this year in general.
Mhm. That's
Maybe he
one
did.
thing.
Definitely, that was one of the things that he learned.
My highlights are all a bunch of like small things built. You know, if I added them up, it was big. Like it's good and bad seeing the people jump on the Nintendo bandwagon after the Wii U, and you know, I was like invited to podcasts with people who wouldn't talk to me anymore because the Switch was coming out. Everyone's excited, and I did not change my tune. Get on the podcast. I'd be like, they're like, "Oh, you excited?" I was like, "Yeah, everything's exciting now." Until the other shoe drops, I said, "We're all friends now." I said, "Something's gonna happen, and we're gonna part ways again." You know, and I've seen some of that happening, but for the most part, everyone's been still positive, and you know, it's cool, but it's also you've seen some flip flopping, you've seen some people all jumping back on Nintendo, you know. And
Does that bring up questions that a company's decisions that dictates whether or not you're friends with somebody? Like, is that
That's pretty sad. That's a pretty
that's kind of sad for our community that people be like, I can't fuck with you no more. Why?
Well,
Because Nintendo didn't put voice chat Splatoon 2. Like, it's one of those things you have to say, go, what?
I hate to question your integrity.
I just don't think you're a real gamer.
somebody was in the chat earlier saying that the rumors are they're delaying the online service, and it's unacceptable for the Switch not to have these basic features. Do you honestly admit, like, I haven't only once
I've
I
been
thought
playing this whole year, and
there's only one time this one of my Wii U friends who we message each other, Anya, I don't know if she watches these podcasts. If you do, I have no way to message her because Miiverse was our only way to message each other on the Wii U. But she got a Switch
Give
for
me your
Christmas.
number.
She added me through the Wii U friends list, and I literally have no way to communicate with her. And that is, you know, a drawback. That's the only time I've ever felt compelled to say, man, I wish I could message somebody. And yeah, it should be there, but it doesn't affect how awesome the Switch is. But anyway, some of the other things, the little things, is just talking to somebody about the Switch, and they knew what it was before I even said it. And they like, oh, that's that thing that has the controllers clicking, like with the Wii U. I didn't even want to say the name because I knew no one would know what I was talking about.
the name sounds pretty
like,
silly.
yeah, and I'm just like, the HD Wii is what I started saying after a while.
Yeah.
So the fact that people knew what the Switch was, I didn't have to say anything. There was a midnight launch. Everyone was excited for the system, and just, you know, seeing that positivity and people know what the system is. So now I don't have to explain what the hell I'm talking about. You know, that was cool. And then just the games that came out, like, just ridiculous. How many great games. Like, I played Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Mario Odyssey, all in the same 9 months. Like, that's just, you know, not one huge moment for me, but a bunch of awesome little stuff that
It was just, I think the core, for at least for me, the core of it was just being able to go online and seeing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's jarring to hear people who absolutely couldn't stand Nintendo since like the Wii era go buy Switches and shit. That was weird in its own right. But the thing that I thought was probably just the most refreshing and I was just happy about is I could go online and not see like a bunch of fucking positive Nintendo videos where it'd be like, oh yeah, the Switch sold like it's already at 4 million in like 3 or 4 months. You were like, that's nice. And then and it's
some
just
people you would never expect it. Like,
well, it's
even
because
just other
listen,
gamers, but
whatever makes the money is what we do. So if
I mean,
the
that's one
Switch
of the great things. That, like, even people that are still hating, yet they're buying them and they're playing the games. They're trying
it's
to
like your
hate, but
problem,
they
problem,
can't
sir.
anymore.
you
Nobody
seem like
can hate it
psychopaths
anymore.
now. It's like I hate it, but I have one.
Because I'm a gamer.
It's like you're like a delusional idiot and shit for playing Mario. Meanwhile, they're playing Mario.
Mario's for kids. It's a family game.
Completely going back on everything they said. This is I pointed out is like it's just like you could see that it was never about all these things they were complaining about. It was just about, oh, they're popular. It was always just about that. once it's popular again, all these dudes will jump right on the bandwagon, and it's just like it's funny, but it's like I can't believe I was right about that. It's pretty sad.
And I will say he's not in the chat anymore. I was on Real Gamers. That's one of the podcasts I was kind of calling people out. Hey, we're all excited now, right? Like because the Switch is people are excited. But I predicted the Switch would hit 30 million by the end of 2018, back before the Switch launched, and they all thought I was crazy. But it could happen.
Yeah, it's pretty
Possibly. Hopefully.
I think
Please,
it'll
God.
be over 25.
Yeah, because it started in March, so that's almost 2 years. It's very possible. If it hits like a Wii stride, even a what's the oh my gosh, even like a PS2 stride, which is possible. It's very comparable from what I see to the PS2 and how it was doing, and didn't even have that gimmick of a cheap DVD player.
And it didn't really matter to me like that it sold, other than it shut some people up, and it put a lot of worries some people had aside. And
foot and mouth syndrome. It was a lot more foot and mouth syndrome going on because of it.
Yep. So it's just I don't want to.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to watch to an extent. People kind of coming full circle, all about the Wii U, built their channels up on the Wii U defense, and then hated the Wii U, and Nintendo's doing all these things wrong. The next system needs to be PS4 or more power, needs to be standard console, standard controller. Switch gets revealed. It's not what they said, but people are excited, so it's cool. Let's all sing Kumbaya because we're excited about this thing. And then
I'll keep saying it. A lot of stuff they complain about for Wii U is still a thing on the Switch.
It's even got
even worse.
Yeah, it's got
worse
less
in some cases, right?
I think some of the saddest things is that the Wii U still gets dogged out disgustingly now.
It's like you're further exposing yourself by loving the Switch.
But because every time someone talks about the fucking Switch sales, like, oh yeah, look at the Switch has already hit 10 million units. God, the Wii was just such a dog shit console. And you're just like, and you almost want to stop and be like, how are these two things fucking related? Why do you do this? Just fucking, if you want to talk about some of it, just talk about the goddamn Switch sale. God, the Wii was just such a dog shit console. I can't believe. See, I was the reason why. I was the reason why.
That was a low point. That was definitely a low point in the year, was people taking credit for the Switch.
Yeah, because they're fucking garbage. That's a different story.
But anybody got any other moments or anything?
Well, I guess for me, it culminated with the greatness of Odyssey and the New Dunk City Festival, and it's even hard for me to like explain why I got so teary-eyed during that. It's hard to put like, oh, this is the particular reason why. It was just like a culmination of my gaming life, that sequence in Odyssey, and just like it wasn't just that. It was just like even the commercials I saw for Odyssey, like when they did the whole. It was basically a music video, and they were like, Mario was like a CG character, and they were doing the dance and stuff. I got teary-eyed watching that. It was just something about that game and the way it presented itself. It was just a nice bow on the Switch's year. Obviously, there was still more, but it was something about Odyssey coming out. I mean, such greatness in 1 year, in the first year, not even a full year.
And Nintendo's plan. Like, I remember telling people, was it November 2016 or 2015? Remember when people thought like the November 2015 Direct should talk about the NX?
Yeah.
And I was like telling people how retarded that is.
That would be really stupid.
And like seeing, like I said, like they got a plan. They're lining things up. Yeah, we haven't heard anything in a while, but they're making things happen behind the scenes. And to be, right about that was.
Yeah, that was the mistake they made with the Wii U. It's like
And the
I think
3DS.
they put 3DS. They put so much information out way too early, and we were just
Imagine
waiting, and people were just speculating, and there was all that rumor stuff going on. It was one thing to make rumors about the NX when you didn't know what the hell it was, but when you knew what the Wii U was and the 3DS was, and all the rumors came out, and none of those things came to fruition, people just got upset, So it just started off on the wrong foot to begin with.
Giant highlight for me actually, which I think for a lot of people maybe, but which I really like is everybody was always hating on Nintendo, no third party, and then the Switch came out, and everybody was all like, "Oh, it's not gonna get this game, it's not gonna get that game," and then third parties were not releasing shit, and then out of nowhere, fucking Bethesda comes and they drop Skyrim, and then people are like, Skyrim is 6 years old,
It's old.
and then they drop fucking Doom, it can never handle Doom. They drop Doom, and they drop like, Doom is also a year old, and then they drop Wolfenstein. It's like how Bethesda basically shut everybody up. Like that was amazing.
It was so funny, like how Skyrim was 6 years old only when it came to the Switch. Last year, when it dropped on everything else, nobody was complaining about it being 5 years old. That's pretty funny.
Because one of the things, the main debate, the debate I had with OJ, where he kept saying, "Yeah, nobody's going to put a game because if it didn't work on the Wii U, why would you try now?" And that was why it was amazing. Because Bethesda was never really there, and they just going all fucking out, And that's all you needed.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see
a third party, Western third party that really never even worked with Nintendo before. That to me was like, okay, this is different. This is not going to be the same situation when you have a Bethesda out there going out on a limb. It wasn't like they had they didn't wait till the sales came. They were there. Obviously, they were there earlier, working putting these games together. So
yeah,
they saw the demo at E3 and they were in.
Because you said that with the sales, like some people say, but why would they release the next FIFA if this FIFA doesn't sell? And it's like you said, because Skyrim, they're not waiting for the sales. Bam, Doom, bam, Wolfenstein, everything is there.
And somebody brought up Mario plus Rabbids, and remember Ubisoft having an actual great E3?
Oh my gosh!
Like how surprising was that?
Or having Miyamoto, and like how cool is that arm cannon thing where they're both standing there?
That was very cool.
The whole show.
And then your boy crying, like that was oh my gosh.
Yeah, when he's crying, it's like it was so emotional.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like I said earlier, like Sony had a good year, so PlayStation fans have had a lot to be excited for.
Yep, Crash Bandicoot.
Graphics horrors or
why you do that? He's like, yeah, the remaster.
It's in full 4K, man.
Oh, shut up. Fucking trash.
Okay. But for Xbox this last month, they've had something to hang their hat on. They got the world's most powerful console, so you got that.
But they got a broken PC game.
Even though Digital Foundry just did a video saying there's really only about 7 third-party multiplats that have a significant improvement on the X over the PS4 Pro versus all the other multiplats, so 7 versus hundreds, which almost look identical on both. So
they had to kill that narrative, though. That it may be late or whatever, but they did have to kill that narrative of being the weak console.
Yeah, if they could have done that last year, it might have turned
right. I think they should have bit the bullet and just did it last year. And I guess they said it would have been too expensive to launch last year, but
can't imagine it dropped that much in a year. And plus,
dropping $100 in a year, like
it wouldn't have been ready though. It was barely ready. The HD Ultra HD player wasn't even the software was wrong at launch. Like they had to patch it because it was just displaying colors wrong. But anyway, Nintendo they killed it. The 3DS had some good games too, but it's just been to see Nintendo's plan and what he started come to fruition and see all this, like what the difference the games make. Because if the Switch launched with 1-2 Switch, some indie games,
oh gosh,
Skylanders, and nothing else, it would have been a bigger failure than the Wii U. Like, and if it was like unknown when the next 3D Mario game was coming, unknown when this other game was coming, that was the difference. And it really showed. Maybe they won't.
So very much if the January 12th event didn't happen, is that what you're saying?
I contest, like when you look at how the Switch did at launch or whatnot, I still say that the Wii U would have done not as good, but it would have done a whole lot better had Nintendo had Mario 3D World at launch and not relied so much on third party and just did what they did with the Switch.
And if Skyward Sword had been delayed and been a Wii U launch title,
oh my gosh, that's the biggest thing. I always said that they should have delayed that thing a year and made it a Wii U launch title. So
all right, so
been big.
2017, great year, definitely. I can't think of a better just year of gaming. Like, I mean, it's hard to compare it to. I don't even remember that Metroid Prime and Smash on the GameCube came out in the first year.
Yeah.
To say definitively that there wasn't a better year, but it seems like to me there wasn't at this point. But one thing I want to do, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this live on air, I want to get your guys' take on how we should do our game of the year. So I'll give you an example. Do we want to strip it down to a top 5? Do you want to do a 10, or somewhere in between? And then we'll kind of see if we can come to a decision there. I got some ideas for which game that's a port of an old game on the Switch. So anything that obviously came out in 2017 on the Switch. Thought maybe we could do a separate category for games that were 2016 or older that ported to the Switch this year. So like Rocket League, Doom. Would you want to do like pick a specific or have a separate, like instead of game of the year, you have game of the year, but also have best Switch game that was an old port or something.
But to have several categories is a nice idea.
So what would be the best way to phrase that? Because that's a mouthful to say it that way. Best old.
Like instead of the Game Awards, you got like the Juice Award
game.
Yeah, we could do, the Juice Awards do like best literally. We're the critics. We're the
best,
judges. The 5 judges.
Best non 2017 Switch game. So if like Ukulele was late on the Switch, but it's still a 2017 game, so that wouldn't count. It would just be games. So I want to do that. What do you think about the top? Do you want to? We've always done 5. I know Terrell does a top 10 on his separate. I don't know if I want to do 10, but maybe 5's not enough this year because there's so many games.
Yeah, I'd say top 6.
I think top 3.
Well, the thing is,
I don't want to go less. I want to go more.
Then top 10.
If you do top 10, that would be way too long. So what you could do is you do a top 10 and the first 10 to 5 we just say it, and then the first 5 we can elaborate on them.
Or we could lead up to it. Have 1 week 10 to 5, then the next week 5 to 1. I mean 10 to 6, then 5 to 1.
Just stop.
No,
that's not terrible. But let's.
Then you like build up the suspense,
So, I don't mind that idea. We could just do a top. Just 10 seems like so much. It's like,
I think it's way too, especially because the way we always talk about one game.
I definitely don't want to go into detail for 10.
What about this idea of just like mentioning your top or your low 5, just saying it
10 through 6,
and then like elaborating.
That's it. Right now, that's the front runner. My other thought was a top 5 with 2 honorable mentions, so basically a top 7.
I mean, that's fine too.
To me, I think we should space it out.
Yeah, see, we have the freedom to do whatever we want. It's not like
you could do like just honorable mentions. You don't have to rank them. You could just basically be your 6 and 7 and give some quick reasonings, and then we'll go one at a time. What's your like we did, Terrell? What's your 5? Robert, what's your number 5? And then go in order like we did before. So, what do you think? 5 with 2 honorable.
Yeah.
And this is going to be game of the year. This isn't going to be restricted to Nintendo.
Well, I would hope not.
Even though, if one of my honorable mentions might not be, will probably not be a Switch game. So, and then I'm thinking we'd get down to right before we announce 1. Do our biggest disappointment of the year. Does anybody have a problem with that?
Oh, Obviously, yeah. I mean, definitely, sure, that'd be awesome.
What the fuck?
How many
It could be
times
most-
you say it?
I'm ready to rant again.
No,
It can be best,
please.
most disappointing game. It can be worst game. It can be something
That
related
pissed you
to
off
that
in the
game.
gaming industry.
Like it could be, it has to be a game, but it could be the reasonings could be something like Battlefront 2 based on loot boxes. You don't even have to play the game. Maybe I don't know. What do you think?
That was pretty disappointing.
Should it be something you've played or something that just happened revolving around a game?
I mean, if it's a disappointing moment of the year, I think it can be a game you haven't played.
Yeah,
All right.
because
with
because
that.
Because of the fuckery.
Yeah. You
Mine's
didn't play
gonna
because
be
of it.
disappointing for a game I actually played, but that's
I think I would be doing that too
I'll
myself.
do most disappointing for a
Unless
game
you just
I
want to split them up into two different categories.
yeah. We could do disappointing game you played if you have one, and then disappointing surrounding a game, which is gonna be pretty kind of easy answer for everybody. So what else? Let's see. Anything else? Am I missing? We'll do the non 2017 best Switch game. So Rocket League for me. Just gonna say that right now.
We
That's
not.
it.
I feel like
Spoiler.
I feel like this probably doesn't even need to be recorded. This part. I mean,
What about- what about,
But anyway, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to.
best new characters?
can we not?
'Cause you
No,
can
I
do,
don't
like,
wanna
you know,
get
you can
too
do, like,
deep into
Arm,
Because
Yeah,
all
sure.
this
you
turned
can
into is a bunch
Uh,
of
Wife, you asking for trouble there.
Pyra. You know,
You could do favorite waifu of the year or something. When just in between, maybe we'll just go in
Yeah,
between.
but I feel like you wouldn't get you. We just spend like 20 minutes on Robert perving out on like every Nintendo girl this year.
I don't even think he's seen. He hasn't even seen Pirate in his game.
Oh my
yet, so-
gosh.
So,
Shade is
here's-
real.
I'm gonna
today.
make-
yeah,
I'm gonna make a
but
rule.
that's why you got to pick the thick cloud.
Oh,
Get the
God.
fuck
I'm gonna make
out.
a rule.
So
Quiet.
can we
I gotta make a rule. This one's non-negotiable. You have to have.
Sounds like a demand.
Oh, here we go.
You have to have either completed the game or have, I don't know, a significant amount of time in the game to have it on in your list of top 5.
Well, then Robert can't even participate.
I would prefer it if you
Oh.
actually, if it's a game that can be finished. Like Rocket League obviously doesn't count this year, but that would be an example of a game you can't finish. So if it's a game that has an ending, I won't. If you're going to put it in your top 5 on this podcast, you got to have beat the game. So
Robert's picking LA Noir.
Because he beat
Or,
it on
like
the
I said,
360.
like if you're like if you had like 70, 60, 50 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I think that would be pretty safe. You know, Robert, same thing, Retro, all you guys. But if you have, I know somebody in years past, not in this group, I was watching their top games of the year, and I knew, dude had less than 20 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it was in his like top 5, and it's like, how?
Nah, bro.
So
You don't even know anything about the game. 20
yeah, I
hours.
would say if Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for me, it was about 35-hour mark that it really hit with me. Started like, hey, I'm liking this, so I would say that's a pretty good amount of time to kind of baseline. But yeah, so look forward to that. Probably middle of January, maybe we'll have to push it out for some people if they gotta put, maybe finish up some games or something. We'll see. And yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Last year's was tough because I literally didn't even have 5 games. Like I had to. It was so hard to come up with 5. And this year's gonna be hard.
Zero.
Yeah, I did like that game, but
Me too.
this year is going to be hard to like decide which 5 are my top 5. Like I can go back and forth on a couple games. Like this game's 2, no, now it's 4. Like I've already kind of been thinking about it, so it's definitely a different year than last year.
You can't have like
I'm
Star
excited.
Fox Zero and then Star Fox Guard.
Yeah, and,
Like-
Twilight Princess HD because no.
Oh man.
But, yeah, it should be fun, and maybe Nintendo will announce a direct for like early January, so we'll have something to discuss before our Game of the Year podcast.
Did EA
So,
confirm that?
yeah, we'll see. I just rumors to me that like We were so sick of rumors. Remember that?
Oh my
That was,
god.
and it was so nice. That was the other highlight. Rumors were for the most part done until about, I don't know, a certain point, E3 or something. They popped up again, but it really just, people were playing games and they were happy with their Switch, and the rumors really stopped. And
The
the
end
only
of rumors, but not rumor channels.
the only rumors you got were people claiming that Sony was going to announce their Switch killer at a certain event, and never happened, shit like that.
Ooh, get him.
Somehow that dude gets 20,000 views per video. I just don't understand, but that, to each your
They
own.
should only be getting
Just jelly,
64
man.
views.
Yeah,
It's salty because people like hype no matter what.
I know. It just, I don't understand how you can be lied to, and guy can be completely wrong and angry and turn on Nintendo basically, and still, it must be Nintendo haters for the most part. I don't know, but anyway,
No,
I guess he wasn't as super as we thought.
I got nothing to do with this, Dave.
so I gotta go shovel some snow because there's been ridiculous blizzard and stuff. So I'm gonna wrap this podcast up and
In a condom?
hey Robert. That was a Robert comment, but we're not gonna do final thoughts. We're just gonna drop out of here.
Oh
And
man, I was hoping to just. Well, I just wanted to mention my plight, and I was going to use that in my final thought.
Oh yeah, the SD card thing.
Just real quick.
yeah, I can share that story.
So I might sound very stupid to some people because you might already know this, but I didn't know it. The apparently Switch has cloud saves, which I had no idea. Basically, my Samsung card slowly stopped working. If you guys remember, I was talking about how I was having these issues with downloading new content. It would tell me it was corrupted, but then I downloaded it again and it worked. So eventually my card just stopped being read by my Switch, and I was freaking out because I didn't know. I wasn't aware if I could save my my stuff or not, my data.
Well, your progress save is all
Right.
internal.
Yeah, well, no, because I had moved it over.
No, save files are. That's why everyone was mad about NBA, because you can't transfer save files to SD cards. That's why that 5 gigs was so upsetting to people on NBA.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you can look it up, but yeah, NBA, like they said, well, don't blame us because we can't have it. You can't put it on an SD card.
Oh, okay. Well, let me shoot that down as well, because I moved my stuff over to my kids' Switch
Mm-hmm.
just to see. Like I moved it over, and all my saves were still there, so it wasn't just stuck on my internal. But what was my point? So yeah, so when I did that, when I moved my profile over, I saw these little cloud symbols over the icons. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so I go to click it, and it's like, well, you don't have all the data you need to play this game. You have to download. And so I would download the stuff, and then everything, all my saves were working. And I was worried that I transferred nothing from my
SD card?
From my SD card. I transferred nothing, even though I backed it up. I was freaking out because I thought I had to back it up. I backed it up fine, and I was like, oh, okay. But then I was worried that even backing it up, it wouldn't transfer because Nintendo,
Yeah, because the card still worked on your computer.
It still worked on my computer, but didn't work on my Switch. So I was really freaking out at that point. I was like, what is going on here? And then, Nintendo doesn't want you to be able to bring over games to another console that weren't downloaded on that console. They have contingency for that. They won't, like, once I moved over stuff from, because my file is the main file. Once I moved that stuff over, it wouldn't play on my son's console, his Switch. So all those downloaded games would not play, even though they showed up. You could see the icons and stuff, but it wouldn't let you play them. So apparently, there's some cloud saving going on the Switch.
Yeah, because I pulled my SD card out because I wanted to make sure a game downloaded to the internal, and it still showed. What did I have downloaded? A demo, 9 parchments on my system, but it had the little cloud over it for me to read.
Right.
But I put the SD card back in, and then that cloud went away. So it was some part of your profile like lets the system know, hey, he has this game.
Mhm.
But then you pull your SD card out, like if it was the Switch, you unplug your hard drive, it doesn't show those icons anymore. They're just gone. So instead of having to go to the eShop and re-download it, it just keeps it on your page. So you could easily, let's say that SD card failed and you just put a new one in, and you could just click it and it'd re-download. So that's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, I was surprised at how easy it was, because with the Nintendo, that's usually not an easy thing. It's always
and you can
kind of
start
weird.
the download.
Yeah.
You can go play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and about 10 minutes later, you'll get the little on-screen notification like Snake Pass is finished installing or downloading, so you can go and do whatever you do the gaming you want to do, and it'll still download those pending downloads. So you could have 3 of them, get them set, and go play a game, and they're all going to download while you're playing. Which I'm not sure if every other system does that. Feels like my PS4 stops downloading when I start doing something else, but can't confirm.
I think it slows it down. I think it slows down the download speed.
Yeah, I think it does slow it down. I think it does still download, but it's a lot slower.
But yeah, anyway, you got to get out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Chat was very active today. I might have pissed somebody off and he left. I was calling him out in the chat, but anyway, good podcast. It was this is the last one of the year, so
Wow.
2017's done.
What happened?
We'll be back Monday, New Year's Day, because unless somebody's hungover, that's when I'm planning on doing it.
Depends. My mom's birthday's New Year, so it depends on what she wants to do.
Well, let me know.
Still hungover at 7:00 the next day.
We'll see.
Most people got to work. Most people got to work on that Tuesday, so it's not like you can do too much partying. But yeah, we're planning on New Year's Day, Monday.
Well,
so
New Year's Eve is when you get drunk.
yeah, you wouldn't want it.
If you don't get drunk New Year's Day, I hope not.
Well, some people don't give a damn. We don't believe in fucking patience or not. What am I looking for? Moderation. We don't believe in moderation.
I do, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, but just because you're responsible, we don't fucking do that shit.
All right. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. It's been a great year, and we'll see you next year.